come in telling me how excited people are to be out of pain. Like Bob from Ohio, who writes, I had a herniated disc in my back in 1984. I started taking Relief Factor, and for the first time, I have been completely out of constant, sometimes excruciating pain. I'm now able to work in the yard, around the house, and do my job in comfort. This is a great product. That's the end of the quote. If you're struggling with ongoing back or neck pain, shoulder, hip, or knee pain, or general muscle pain, aches, pains of any kind, do what tens of thousands of others have done so successfully. Go to relieffactor.com and order their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. 1-800-500-8384. That's 1-800-500-8384.
American Leak Detection.
This is Will Nell from American Leak Detection. I'm proud to say we are the best in the business when it comes to finding and fixing leaks around your home. Find out more about our green initiative at AmericanLeakDetection.com. Water is our planet's most precious resource. From leaks to innovative water-saving solutions, call us anytime. We are American Leak Detection, leading the way in conserving water. Find us at AmericanLeakDetection.com.
American Leak Detection.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is The Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
This is the Wells Report. Thanks for joining us on Friday night. Into midnight we go. Night in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. This is funny. It's funny and it's not. It's funny because I'm surprised it hasn't happened before. It's not funny because I think it's probably going to happen again. Let me explain. Well, let me ask you a question first. Should we sue our politicians for not coming through on their promises? 866-660-5759. Listen to this. A retired attorney living in Virginia Beach is so mad that the Republicans couldn't repeal the Affordable Care Act, he is suing to get his political donations back. He's accusing the GOP of fraud and racketeering. What would you do if you were on the jury here? Bob Hegman, 70 years old, filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court saying the national and Virginia Republican parties and some GOP leaders raised millions of dollars in campaign funds while knowing they were not going to be able to overturn the ACA, also known as Obamacare. The GOP has been engaged in a pattern of racketeering, which involves massive fraud perpetrated on Republican voters and contributors, as well as independents and Democrats. Racketeering, perhaps better known for use in prosecuting organized crime, involves a pattern of illegal behavior by a specific group. The lawsuit lists as defendants the Republican National Committee, Virginia's 2 national GOP committee members, Morton Blackwell and Cynthia Dunbar, as well as the Republican Party of Virginia and the state party chairman, John Whitbeck. In an email, Blackwell dismissed Hegman's complaint as a, quote, frivolous nuisance lawsuit that should be thrown out of court by any judge, unquote. What if the federal district court he filed the lawsuit in is run by a liberal judge? In a separate email Dunbar sent to Blackwell that was forwarded to the Virginia Pilot, that's the newspaper, Dunbar referred to it as ridiculous. At the same time, both said they understood where Hegman was coming from. Blackwell said the suit is a sign of conservative anger that the Republican-controlled Congress has not yet repealed and replaced Obamacare. No, it's that they have not yet repealed Obamacare. See, they keep trying to turn it back to their talking point because they're politicians. He argued that progressives had taken over the Democrat Party. Geez, I wonder if you know anybody who said that before. He argued that progressives had taken over the Democrat Party and seemed to lament that conservatives had not yet taken over the Republican Party. Too few conservatives are willing to invest their time, their talent, and money and personally participate inside the Republican Party, said Blackwell. A Republican majority will mean a conservative majority if and when a sufficient number of conservatives figure out why the success of their principles depends on their personal involvement in local, state, and national Republican Party committees and in party nomination contests. Well, you see, that's all well and good. There's nothing wrong with saying that, except it doesn't work. Yeah, we have seen plenty of Tea Party conservatives go to Republican events only to get their heads handed to them at all levels. So does this guy have a point? Should he be successful in his lawsuit suing the Republican Party for bungling the repeal of Obamacare? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. I don't know that he's going to be successful, but you know what I do know? I know he ought to try. For 7 years, the Republican Party said they were going to do that. For 7 years, they connected, if you elect us, we will succeed in repealing Obamacare. We did our job. We were successful in getting these Republicans elected. So where's the repeal of Obamacare? Should the Republican Party be held accountable for this? Should this guy get his money back? You know what I think? I think the answer is yes. I think he should get his money back. Eight 866-660-5759. What about you? What do you think? 866-660-5759. You see, I believe that the Republican Party doesn't really mean what it says. I believe that the Republican Party is often guilty of fraud. I sometimes consider myself as much of an adversary for the Republican Party as most Democrats. And the reason is I'm on the other side of the coin, is because I see the Republican Party as Democrat light. Too many senators in the Republican Party are actual Democrats, and they proved it when they voted against the repeal and replace choice they had. They had many choices. They should have just repealed the dang bill and then move forward with something else later. They should have just repealed it. Believe me, the insurance companies can react in time. I know it's open enrollment coming up in November. I realize that it's August, September, October. Believe me, those insurance companies can react within 90 days, and they should be given a chance to. A Republican donor from Virginia Beach, Virginia says, I want my money back. Should he get it? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. If you were on that jury, how would you rule? Would you give him his money back? I've seen a lot of people, John from Grapevine, for example. John from Grapevine called me up on the telephone and said, you know what? I stopped giving the Republican Party. I got it. I've had a lot of those conversations. And the reason I've had a lot of those conversations is over stuff like this. These guys don't do what they say they're going to do. Is there any reason why the Republican Party could not have done this thing? Is there anything stopping them? The answer is no. Remember, they weren't voted down by Democrats. The straight repeal, the repeal and replace, the skinny repeal and replace, all voted down by Republicans, not Democrats. So why wouldn't he get his money back? I'm really sure that he deserves his money back. I mean, this is clear to me. Is it clear to you? Hegman's lawsuit comes after about a week after the Senate failed by one vote to approve a bill to repeal the ACA. Most people turn to John McCain to assign accountability for that. Hegman says he has standing to sue the GOP because he's been a contributor. Federal Election Commission records show he gave a total of $875 to New Hampshire's GOP, but no donations were noted for the National Party or Virginia. He was a Granite State resident for more than a decade and a Trump campaign volunteer there in Virginia before moving to the beach last year. Or I'm sorry, he was a volunteer in New Hampshire before moving to the beach, Virginia Beach. He wants the party to either return his campaign contributions to donors, or not just himself, but donors in general, or exert pressure on Republican legislators to repeal the law under threat of losing GOP financial support. He acknowledged that members of the House of Representatives and Senate cannot be sued for failing to abide by campaign promises, but argued that the political parties don't have those same protections. Again, I think he's correct. If the candidates don't deliver, it's incumbent to the RNC to get candidates together and say, you can't do this. Hegman's suit contends that the Republicans knew the GOP would not be able to repeal the health care law after President Barack Obama's reelection in November. And why wouldn't he say that the Republicans knew that they wouldn't be able to repeal the bill? Because remember, a lot of those senators voted for a straight repeal when they knew it could not pass. But when they realized it could pass, they voted against it. This guy is right. This guy's completely right down the center line. He should get his money back. Should the rest of us get our money back? I don't think so. I think we probably have to sue on our own. 866-660-5759. Do you want your money back? The money that you gave the Republican Party? Eight 660 I'd be very, very tempted to go after it. But then again, you know, I'm really interested in the Republican Party being a conservative party. So much so that I'm beginning to realize that you can't teach a pig to sing. It annoys the pig and it frustrates you. Cut to the chase. Do what I always do. Flank. Create a conservative party of the United States after creating the Conservative Party of Texas. Try to become a part of a political party that does what it says it's going to do. Or maybe that's the question. Is it possible for a modern political party to do what they say they're going to do? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. He's got almost $1,000 wrapped up in the idea that he should get his money back for supporting the Republican Party because they said that they would repeal Obamacare and then failed to do it. He's a retired attorney. He's 70 years old. He's Bob Hegman. Should he win his lawsuit? 866-660-5759. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Dennis Prager. The Dennis Prager Show.
The Russians were involved, but it wasn't about collusion. The president is entirely accurate. It's all been fake news. You've been bathing in it. It's all hysteria. The moment the press all maintain something, I assume it's false. I have never once in my career of 3 decades been proven wrong on this matter.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hey, remember the mortgage meltdown of 2008? Have you tried to get a mortgage since then and been turned down? Or maybe you haven't even tried because your credit score is stuck at 585 or your tax returns have too many write-offs. Well, Cash Call Mortgage has great news for you. We've just introduced programs for people who've been told no. And what's doubly exciting is that we can solve your mortgage problems with no closing costs, no points, title, escrow, and no fees.
Wait. Cash Call, are you saying you now have credit and income-solving mortgages with no closing costs? Are you kidding?
You heard right. A credit or income-solving loan with no closing costs. Call 855-875-CASH, and we'll work with you to solve your mortgage issues. Make the cash call at 855-875-CASH.
First mortgages impact Mortgage Corp. BBA Cash Call Mortgage. 1 City Boulevard, Orange, California, 92868. NMLS 128231. Equal housing lender. Not licensed in all states. Not available in Washington State. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing, terms, and restrictions.
That's 855-875-CASH.
Need a new CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we carry the world's best CPAP machines, including top-of-the-line ResMed equipment. To move inventory, we're selling our ResMed AirStart machines at a fraction of the price of similar machines. Call now and ask for one of these overstocked CPAPs. We'll even provide free next-day air shipping on your ResMed machine order, so you get it fast. Call 1-800-900-6135. The best part? No insurance needed. Our CPAPs are priced so low they can even cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and has everything you need to treat sleep apnea. With no retail overhead or costly middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com is overstocked on ResMed AirStart CPAPs and offering free next-day air shipping on these devices. Call now for these great deals and others. Call 1-800-900-6135. If lines are busy, please try again. That's 1-800-900-6135.
Do you have low back or neck pain? Does it run down your arms or your legs? Do you have a bulging or herniated disc degeneration, or spinal arthritis? Even worse, have you been told you need back surgery or injections? If you answered yes, then please listen to what I have to say. My name is Dr. Chad Vines, DC, at Genesis Back and Neck, and I use the most advanced spinal decompression system available, the DRX 9000, to correct back problems just like yours. We don't use addictive drugs, and we don't use any type of dangerous invasive surgery for these problems. Spinal decompression is safe, FDA cleared, and it's not painful, and has about an 86% success rate. We accept most insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. You will sit down and visit with me personally until I've answered all of your questions. And if you're a candidate for decompression, you can try out the treatment all at no charge to you. So if you're ready to not hurt anymore and don't want to have surgery, call me at 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922, or online at mylowback.com.
Futures and options trading involves substantial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Fire the stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Larry Levin, and I've been on the trading floor for 23 years. I was one of the biggest traders in the S&P pit. I'm also the president of Trading Advantage, the leading educational firm teaching people how to become professional day traders. Now, for a limited time, I'm offering one of the trading techniques I use to make $1.9 million for free. Invest in and control your own future. Get started right now by calling 800-914-5567. Leave your email address on my voicemail, and I'll email you my free trading technique and daily insiders market report at no cost to you. This is the very information I use to build my fortune.
I was getting ready to retire. I still needed to make extra income, but I didn't want to work for anyone else. Because of Larry and his excellent instructors, I can trade successfully for myself, and I'll never have to work for someone else again.
Fire the stockbroker and hire the most dependable person you know. You. Again, call in the next 90 minutes. Leave your email address on my voicemail. 800-914-5567. 800-914-5567.
This year, the stock market has hit record highs, but don't assume it will continue to go straight up. In 2008, the bear market wiped out 12 years of gains in 17 months. If you're retired or retiring soon, it's critical to have a strategy that helps grow your portfolio when possible, while helping protect it from a crash. Don't miss this free Money Matters retirement seminar in Rockwall, August 12th, or Fort Worth, August 17th. Reserve at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio. 660 AM. The Answer. Now, more of the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. John David Wells at your service. Telephone number is 866-660-5759. Can we sue the Republican Party for not coming through on what they promised they said they were going to do? That's the question being asked by Bob Hegman. 70 years old, lives in Virginia Beach. While he was in New Hampshire, what he decided he was going to do was he was going to volunteer and he was going to give some money to the Republican Party. And he did so, 800 and something bucks. He says that was under the preposition that had been made by the Republican Party for 7 years that if you gave us the tools necessary, we would repeal Obamacare. We gave them the tools necessary, and so far, they've blown it. Should we get our money back? What would this mean for the future? Would it mean that politics would even get more greasy and hard to understand? Probably. The Republican Party has absolutely no excuse here. This is their mistake. Realizing that if I was the federal judge in this case, realizing that very likely this was going to get set aside, I would let somebody else set it aside. This would be one of those things that I would take, that I would put on my record. I'd say, oh yeah, I got that one wrong. It's possible. It's possible that a federal judge will throw this out of court. We'll keep our eyes on it. But if I was that federal judge, I wouldn't do it. I'd move it up the chain. I'd hear the case. I would hear the case. I'd want the case to be heard. There would be millions upon millions upon millions of dollars riding on it. And there should be. Now, this doesn't happen very often. You very rarely get into a situation where politics rolls around to the point where people say, we are going to do something for 7 straight years. And then actually get the opportunity to do it and then blow it. You very rarely see that. In most cases, you don't see it at all because to be perfectly honest with you, most politicians, even, well, I was going to say even Republicans, but I'm not so sure. Most politicians would simply just follow through on their promise, especially one as simple and straightforward as that. Make no mistake, the Republican Party had no choice but to repeal Obamacare when they took power. They had no choice. That they saw fit to try to concoct some reason to not do what they said they were going to do, whether it's, we didn't want Trump to look bad. No, you want Trump to look bad as much as you can possibly get him to look bad. That's what you want them. That's what you want him to look. No, you'll have to come up with a better excuse than that. The excuse is very simple. The Republican Party, a large portion of it, and beyond just the moderates, they like Obamacare just fine. And they've been playing us for saps. Bob Hegman, good for you, my brother. I hope you win your lawsuits. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
Hello, Howard. Garrett the Dirt Doctor here. I got a little show on the weekends, Sunday morning, and it's about natural organic gardening. We talk about landscaping and pest control. We talk about tree care. We talk about specific pest control on some things where other people say there are no solutions. Things like oak wilt, rose rosette, crepe myrtle bark scale, and fungal canker on Italian cypress. Join me every Sunday morning, 8 to 11, right here on 660 AM, The Answer.
If you've got your sights set on a trip this year, why not celebrate Jerusalem's 50th anniversary in Israel with Dennis Prager, Mike Gallagher, and other 660 AM The Answer listeners? Stand with Israel and explore all that it has to offer. From modern urban and political vitality to historic and ancient landmarks you cannot find anywhere else. This October 22nd through November 1st, come see the majesty of the Mediterranean coastline, friendly cosmopolitan cities, and the intercultural dynamics of Israel. With a cultural past that reaches back even before recorded history, make your plans now to explore Israel's sites like the Golan Heights, the Western Wall, Jerusalem, and much more. You've read and heard about these places for years. Now come and visit them for yourself. Stand with Israel this October 22nd through November the 1st. Time is running out to book your trip. For affordable prices and all-inclusive details, visit 660amtheanswer.com. That's 660amtheanswer.com to register.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-900-9203. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-900-9203. That's 1-800-900-9203. 1-800-900-9203.
It's after 5 o'clock and you're driving home from another day at the office. Wouldn't it be nice if your advertising was working around the clock? And if you came into the office the next day with some new business to work on? That would be great, right? Here at 660 AM The Answer, we talk to business owners every day, and they all want the same thing: positive word of mouth. They want people talking about them in a good way. Well, we've done that for businesses all across the Metroplex. That's why you hear commercials from many of the same advertisers day after day. It's because advertising on 660 AM The Answer works. And we can do that for your business. Imagine your commercial running in shows you listen to each day, like John David Wells, Mark Davis, or Sean Hannity. Now, it's not right for everybody, and we'll tell you if it's not. We value clients that have the same high ethical standards that we hold dear. If this sounds good to you, go to 660amtheanswer.com and click on Advertise with Us, and it will give you some more information. Then just give us a call or shoot us an email. Thanks.
At Simple Sleep Services, our team of doctors are experts in providing the least invasive treatment for snoring and sleep apnea. A custom-fit, comfortable solution that you simply pop in before bed each night and wake up feeling refreshed. And it's covered by medical insurance. We are the most experienced team in the nation providing our treatment, and your diagnosis will be from a board-certified sleep physician using today's latest technology. Visit simplesleepservices.com or call 469-685-1700. No CPAP, no surgery, no implants, just simple simple sleep.
Dallas, Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Congress is at an impasse when it comes to addressing the long overdue issue of how to best move forward with the Affordable Care Act, known as ObamaCare. Finger-pointing recriminations, people passing, setting up lawsuits in Virginia Beach, Virginia. They tried to repeal it. They tried to partially repeal it. No joy. There may be a simple solution to quickly bring lawmakers back to the table, force members of Congress and their staffs to get their health insurance through the Obamacare exchanges just like the law intended. Yeah, this is really quite good. Joining us to discuss this from the Goldwater Institute is Naomi Lopez Bowman, and or Bauman. Is it Bowman or Bauman?
It's Bauman. It's great to be with you, JD.
It's good to have you here, Ms. Naomi. Thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
How in heaven's name did it ever work out that the Congress was able to escape the joys of Obamacare? How did that happen?
Well, the text of the Affordable Care Act does call on members and their staff to join the individual health insurance exchange.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, they didn't want to. Once they actually read the bill after it was passed, they realized that they were going to be subject to the same law that everyone else was. So what happened was that the Obama administration Office of Personnel Management issued a rule that allowed members and their staff the option of enrolling in the Small Business Insurance Exchange, which is really supposed to serve small employers employing 50 or fewer employees. So that's how they were able to escape the individual exchange, and that's why they now have they don't have to make big contributions to their health insurance policies, because under the Small Business Exchange, employers are allowed to contribute to premiums. Unlike in the individual exchange, if you make too much money, you don't get a subsidy. And so, those are they're all taxpayer subsidies, but the difference is that their take-home pay would be much smaller if they were in the individual exchange. So they're really, insulated from a lot of the premium increases, the increases in deductibles, the narrow networks, and all of the shortcomings that we know, or, we can clearly see as a result of this very misguided law.
Somebody that works for something called the Goldwater Institute must be really upset about this.
Well, I certainly am. I mean, I think that the spirit and the text of the law says that they should be in the exchanges with the people that they supposedly represent, right?
Right.
And there are a few lawmakers that are not participating, and good for them. But the rest of them, should have been in the exchanges from day one with everyone else. And now what we're seeing, in addition to premiums roughly doubling, depending on where you live, since the Affordable Care Act was implemented, we see insurers fleeing the markets. There are going to next year probably be over 1,000 counties with only one single insurer. And what's not yet being reported is that in a lot of those counties, there aren't even choices of all the metal tiers. You probably only have one or two plan choices, for example, silver, but you don't have all of them. And so, as this gets worse, as they didn't finish their job before leaving town, we really need to refocus their attention on this important work. I think there's a sense that they want to move on to other issues, and there are a lot of really pressing issues. But the bottom line is that the problems that we see in the Affordable Care Act are only going to get worse, and I think they're going to be accelerating in just how bad things are going to get next year.
There's no doubt about it. By the way, Molina Healthcare announced today that it was exiting the Obamacare exchanges in Utah and Wisconsin, had experienced a $230 million loss in the second quarter of 2017. In the remaining Obamacare exchanges, the health insurer is planning to increase premiums by 55% next year, which will account for the loss of cost-sharing reduction subsidies. If the program was funded, premiums would increase by 30%, which is still outrageous.
Well, that's right. I mean, consider that they've already pretty much doubled in most markets. And remember, we were promised that the average premium for a family of four would be reduced by $2,500 a month. That has not happened. The opposite's happened. Premiums have skyrocketed. And right now, there's a lot of uncertainty. President Trump has threatened to cut the cost-sharing reduction subsidies, which are basically additional subsidies to help pay out-of-pocket costs for people who are low-income but participating in the exchanges. And he's also threatened to reverse the OPM rule and throw members of Congress and their staff into the individual exchange. The president can do either one, but the cost-sharing subsidies are going to be in a long legal battle, most likely, and they also cause even more disruption for next year, and would probably cause even more insurers to flee. Putting Congress into the exchanges is not controversial. It's very easy to do, and it really isn't going to affect anyone except lawmakers and their staff. I mean, so really, this is something that could be done immediately. It would be very impactful. It would really focus lawmakers' attention on the it's very hard work, but it needs to be addressed. Our healthcare system is a huge part of our economy. It's something that right now, unfortunately, a lot of families around the country are paying $20,000 a year between premiums and deductibles before they actually get $1 of benefit from something that they're actually required to buy by the government. We cannot continue down this path.
No, you just absolutely can't. She is the director of healthcare policy for the Goldwater Institute. She is Naomi Lopez Bauman. Joining us on the Wells Report here on 660 AM, The Answer. In case you don't know, the Goldwater Institute is a Phoenix, Arizona-based conservative and libertarian public policy think tank. The Institute's stated mission is to defend and strengthen the freedom guaranteed to all Americans in the constitutions of the United States and all 50 states. The organization was established in 1988 with support of former U.S. Senator Barry Goldwater. So what I'm trying to figure out, and maybe you are exactly the right person to talk to, is I'm trying to figure out, why is the government of the United States involved in anybody's health care at any time, especially considering the travesty that their most recent and most shining example of government health care is, the VA medical system? How in heaven's name did the government get involved in any of this, and why do we want them involved in it for even the smallest speck of time?
Anyone who is familiar with the travesty of the VA healthcare system, it's absolutely tragic that we have what really is a truly socialized system under the VA healthcare system that treats our nation's veterans so shabbily, gives them inferior care in many cases. And this is what we would want to expand and impose on even more people. I mean, really, one of the biggest things we need to change with the Affordable Care Act is that they took the business of the individual insurance market away from states. And Washington is now dictating what plans should be covering, and there's so many requirements on this. It's really driven up the cost of health insurance. In the past, before the Affordable Care Act, of course, our system wasn't perfect, but at least, for example, in the state of Texas, the insurance commissioner and lawmakers in Texas got to decide what would best meet the needs and preferences of Texans. That is really important and really fundamental to return that power and authority back to the states. Basically, what has happened is that the federal government, under the Affordable Care Act, has made low-cost, bare bones type health insurance policies illegal. They're not available.
Yes.
And so if I live in a rural area and I, have to travel a long way for services, why should I buy something that covers everything under the sun? Why can't I have the choice to buy something that better suits my needs? Or, take a look at Illinois, where some of the world's best hospitals are in Chicago, but none of them participate in the exchange plan.
Exactly.
So it really is a situation where the federal government does not know best. And we really need to devolve this authority back to the states where it rightfully belongs and where it was before the Affordable Care Act. Washington has created this mess. They need to clean it up. Well,
it seems to be that what they need to do is they need to continue doing what they are doing. I would prefer a clean repeal, but allowing Obamacare to essentially destroy itself under its own weight is okay with me as well. I mean, this is what these politicians wanted. This is including the 7 that said they were going to vote against or vote to repeal Obamacare, and then when it came down to crunch time, just decided not to do it. So it seems to me that what we have here is we have almost exactly what people who have been around long enough to realize that there is a way to have health care in the United States without the government being involved. It seems to me that what's happening is not the world's worst alternative.
Well, I think that what we need to do is send a very strong message to lawmakers who supposedly represent us, and they're imposing laws that we have to live by, but they've allowed themselves to be exempted from. If the ACA is good enough for the American people, then it certainly is good enough for the people who work for them. And I think that's what needs to change immediately. I
agree completely. I agree that that's a great first start. But I also think that once again, there's an awful lot to be discussed when it says when you say just get the government completely out of it. They're not capable of handling it. No government healthcare system is. All you got to do is go look at the I guess the nation that's closest to us is Great Britain. They have the National Health Service. The National Health Service, I guess the only people that want it in this country are politicians, because the politicians, as we found out in the Charlie Gard case, have a whole lot of power they shouldn't have. And what I ended up talking about was this, what's the difference between the National Health Service in Great Britain and God? Well, the difference is that God doesn't think he's Great Britain's National Health Service. And so when we get ourselves into a position where the government, when you put it into healthcare, then the government, the actual bureaucracy, becomes more important than either the medicine or the patient. And that's what we see with the National Health Service. And that's what we see with any vestige of the Affordable Care Act. We need to let it go. We need to just let the dang thing go and let people make their own deal with insurance companies. Here's what I would do. I'm sorry. I don't have a chance to spend a lot of time with people who are the director of healthcare policy for think tanks as prestigious as the Goldwater Institute. But it seems to me that what we do is we have a health savings account that is pre-tax money that actually belongs to the person who is putting the money up. In other words, you don't have to spend it by the end of the year. That could be $2,500 for an individual. There's your sniffle insurance. Then you allow insurance companies to sell catastrophic healthcare insurance, catastrophic health insurance over state lines from one end of the country to the other. In other words, a life-changing event, something blindness or a dread disease of some kind that means that your life is in serious danger, etc. Catastrophic medical care. And then what you would do is then, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do it with a program like the Affordable Care Act that in itself costs $1.25 trillion every year, just the program. It seems to me that what you could do is you could take, half that money, turn it over to the states for Medicare, either as a per head, as a per capita, or as a block grant, and let the states deal with Medicaid on their own terms. That was something that you were talking about a little bit earlier. That way you have sniffle insurance covered. You have the problem of dread disease coverage, where people are very, very sick and can be brought down financially because of it. And then if you're in a position where I would add another insurance policy, which is a direct to the customer health insurance policy that you sell directly to individuals, like you get your automobile insurance. And what ends up happening is that takes care of in that particular bill, because you're allowed to sell across state lines. There is no pre-existing condition, and there is and it solves all the problems. In other words, what do you think about that, Naomi? I know I threw a lot at you, but what do you think?
I think that's absolutely on the right track. I mean, we need to have true ownership over our insurance. It needs to be portable so that we can move it from job to job. And people do need catastrophic coverage, but it's kind of like you mentioned car insurance. You don't have insurance to buy gasoline. You don't have insurance to change your oil.
Exactly.
Those are routine expected costs. You have insurance in the event of a collision, and in the event that someone is hurt. And so that is absolutely what insurance is supposed to do, and
Right.
that is what we should be thinking about and modeling health insurance on. And the real tragedy of the Affordable Care Act that isn't discussed is what it has done to the Medicaid program. Medicaid is supposed to be a safety net program.
It
But
is.
what
Hang
they've
on a
done-
second. Naomi Lopez-Baumann is our guest, the Director of Healthcare Policy for the Goldwater Institute. She continues with us next on the Wells Report.
Hi, I'm Rick Foster with Guardian Financial Management and the host of Plain Talk No Worries Financial Hour. Heard right here on 660 AM at 4 o'clock every Saturday. Do you know why the stock market did so well in the 80s and 90s and why there have been 2 major crashes in the last 16 years? You need to know the reasons why so you can make the right decisions for your family. Listen to Plain Talk No Worries here every Saturday at 4 o'clock and we will pull back the curtains and show you the truth. That's 4 o'clock on Saturday right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people, they're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
Hey, it's Mark Davis with my friends at Sleep Experts. I told you nothing lasts forever, and the buy one, get one mattress event ends on Sunday. Buy the perfect qualifying mattress for you and get another one. A free mattress perfect for a guest room, a kid's room, back to school. Plus, save the tax. Find your perfect mattress with Sleep Experts' exclusive Expert Match technology. Even get up to 6 years interest-free financing on qualifying mattress sets. For all the details on credit costs and info, 866-780-6220. Sleep Experts Buy One, Get One mattress event ends Sunday. So get on in there, where they have 11 years running of Consumer Choice Awards, where they have the 120-day Love Your Mattress Guarantee, the Expert Match technology, where you're going to absolutely find the best mattress for you. And it's the mattress company that we've used for years. We're a Sleep Experts family. So come on in, find the location nearest you. Buy one, get one mattress event ends Sunday, sleepexperts.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
My husband and I wanted to buy a new car, and we don't have very good credit ratings, so the bank recommended Trinity, so we called them. And the people were very nice. They told us the best solution for our problems.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976 to talk to a certified counselor.
Trinity consolidated our bills, got us a lower interest rate, and a much better monthly payment.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
We feel much better now. Things are going pretty well. And since we've been with Trinity, our credit rating has really improved.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Ann, and we're debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
Dennis Prager here. And for 2 years now, I've been telling you about my wife, Sue, who tried Relief Factor because of her knee pain, and it worked. This is before I ever even heard about the product. I never endorsed a pain reliever, but now I am. And yes, now I'm taking Relief Factor too. Maybe you've heard me call it a miracle. In fact, listen to what Amanda from Texas wrote. I was having pain in my left thumb area and left side of my leg from my knee about 4 inches up. After about a week of taking Relief Factor, the pain in my leg has gone away. And a few days later, the pain in my left hand. is gone. We've gotten thousands of these testimonials, and if you're struggling with ongoing back or neck pain, shoulder, hip, or knee pain, or general muscle aches and pain, do what my wife Sue did. Try Relief Factor. Go to relieffactor.com or call them toll-free 800-500-8384, 800-500-8384.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. Naomi Lopez Bauman is our guest. She works at the Goldwater Institute. How long have you been with the Institute?
I've been there for just over 2 years.
And talk to me about how did you become a part of it and how can other people support what you do?
I've been working in the policy arena in the liberty movement for about 20 years. And the Goldwater Institute works in the courts, in the legislatures, and in communities in all 50 states. We have supporters. We rely only on private contributions. We have supporters all around the country. But our job is to expand and protect liberty. And we would be honored if anyone wanted to join us in that effort. Our website is goldwaterinstitute.org. And we're also on Facebook and Twitter. And I can also be reached on Twitter through @Lopez Bauman, LOPEZBAUMAN.
All right, cool deal. Naomi Lopez Bauman, thank you so much for your information. We agree with you that indeed the Congress needs to suffer the same garbage that Obamacare foists on everybody else, and it would certainly be a great way to get these people back to the table. I am so nervous about repeal and replace. I would because I don't believe that a Republican big government healthcare system is any better than a big government Democrat healthcare system. So all I can think of is I just hope that at some point people come to their senses and we get back to being the great country that we are.
That's right. And, I think what we need to keep in mind, and lawmakers really need to understand, is that if Obamacare is good enough for the American people, then it's good enough for the people who work for us.
Absolutely. This is the Wells Report.
Hi, this is Kevin Christ with the KPC Financial Show.
And I'm Karen Christ, his better half.
You said it, honey.
And we are the founders of KPC Financial Solutions. We want to invite you to listen every Sunday at 5 p.m. to our KPC Financial Show, where we will share with you the 7 strategies for successful retirement and how to tailor-make your retirement blueprint.
So join us right here every Sunday at 5 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
If you have retirement questions, you can bet Reed Johnson probably has the answer. Join him every Saturday at 9 for Wealth Smart. With over 17 years of experience, Reed can help take the guesswork out of your retirement planning. Wealth Smart is your source for all things retirement, from how current events could affect your savings to strategies to maximize your retirement income and everything in between. Don't miss Wealth Smart with Reed Johnson, the president of Lake Point Advisory Group, every Saturday at 9 right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Futures and options trading involves substantial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Fire the stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Larry Levin, and I've been on the trading floor for 23 years. I was one of the biggest traders in the S&P pit. I'm also the president of Trading Advantage, the leading educational firm teaching people how to become professional day traders. Now, for a limited time, I'm offering one of the trading techniques I use to make $1.9 million for free. Invest in and control your own future. Get started right now by calling 800-914-5567. Leave your email address on my voicemail, and I'll email you my free trading technique and daily insiders market report at no cost to you. This is the very information I use to build my fortune.
I was getting ready to retire. I still needed to make extra income, but I didn't want to work for anyone else. Because of Larry and his excellent instructors, I could trade successfully for myself, and I'll never have to work for someone else again.
Fire the stockbroker and hire the most dependable person you know. You. Again, call in the next 90 minutes. Leave your email address on my voicemail. 800-914-5567. 800-914-5567.
American Leak Detection. Leak detection without destruction.
Hi, folks. Will Nell here, one of the owners of American Leak Detection. If your pool is losing 1/8 of an inch of water in a day, it could be more than just evaporation. So before it costs you big, go to AmericanLeakDetection.com. If we can't find your leak, you don't pay. That's AmericanLeakDetection.com.
American Leak Detection.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lisa Lissandra. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announcing a new crackdown on White House leaks he says jeopardize national security.
Sessions says the Justice Department and Office of National Intelligence are taking new steps, including prioritizing national security leak investigations and reviewing policies about media subpoenas.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. The latest jobs report is out with some good news.
The Labor Department says 209,000 new jobs were created in July, thousands more than forecast. The unemployment rate declined to 4.3%, matching May, which was the lowest rate in 16 years. The labor force participation rate, the number of Americans over the age of 16 working or looking for a job, improved slightly to 62.9% in July.
Fox's Ginny Cosola, but the average hourly earnings increased just 0.3%. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer. Listen on iHeartRadio.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-700-0299. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-700-0299. That's 1-800-700-0299. 1-800-700-0299.
Are you suffering with hearing loss? Are you sick of people constantly complaining that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to speak up? Would you like to hear more clearly, but you don't want to wear a hearing aid that makes you look old? Then you need to try Listen Clear, a life-changing breakthrough designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. Listen Clear is fully adjustable, so you can find the perfect way to hear almost everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And right now, you can try Listen Clear absolutely free with free shipping. We'll even give you free batteries for life. So call now, 1-855-568-4327. Listen Clear is lightweight and completely hassle-free, and it's practically invisible. Call for your risk-free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now, 1-855-568-4327. That's 1-855-568-4327. 1-855-568-4327.
Mike Gallagher here for Relief Factor. You might be asking, who should consider ordering Relief Factor? Well, anyone with pain that's keeping them from doing things that bring joy to their life. Maybe taking a long walk, not having the pain, riding a bike, playing golf again without pain, opening a jar or sewing or using a hammer, even rolling out of bed every morning without pain. For me, I had hip replacement. And then I had a little bit of a scooter accident in New York, left me miserable, aches and pains until I started taking Relief Factor. Heard about them on the radio. I started to take Relief Factor, a packet in the morning, a packet in the evening. You know what? I was completely pain-free. I want to prove it to you by you taking the 3-week quick start from Relief Factor. It's only $19.95. Do you know 80% of those who take the quick start order again? We know it works. So if your pain isn't worth the price of a cup of coffee a day to lower, then you're not in much pain. If it is worth it, try the 3-week quick start. ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-500-8384, Relief Factor.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Your logo is your brand, your reputation. It's your most valuable asset. So what's the best thing to do with it? Give it away. When the experts at 4imprint put your logo on the right promotional products, giving those items away can make a lasting impression, empower your brand, and attract new customers. In fact, we'll prove it by revealing the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers absolutely free. Simply text the keyword GIVE to 642-642. We don't just print your logo. We're here to help you every step of the way. The 4imprint team can make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items, all delivered on time at great prices with free art assistance and outstanding customer service that's second to none. Want to turn your logo into profit? Give it away. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers absolutely free by texting GIVE to 642642. That's GIVE to 642642. Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it. Trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
It's been a long time since the last stock market crash, so it's not if it will happen, but when. If you're retired or retiring soon and don't have years to make up a major loss, it's critical to help protect what you have. Don't miss this free Money Matters retirement seminar. Choose Rockwall August 12th or Fort Worth August 17th. In addition, learn to plan for retirement income, how to help make your money last, and so much more. Reserve at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. So today we found out that Chief of Staff for President Donald Trump, John Kelly, called Attorney General Jeff Sessions and said, AG, don't worry, your job's okay. We found that out today. And I'm still trying to figure out whether that's okay. I think it probably is, but there you go. Sessions has some very interesting things to do here. And let me explain what's going on. Yesterday, he announced that it was going to be imperative that the DOJ, the Department of Justice, start working on governmental leaking. And what Jeff Sessions was saying today had to do with how he was going to go about finding these leakers. Christopher Wallace wrote in USA Today, he said this. No, I'm sorry, it was Fox News. Christopher Wallace for Fox News. When the National Basketball Association wanted to stop a torrent of internal memos from being leaked to the media, it turned to classic spycraft. League officials conducted a sting operation in 2010. They changed a few numbers or words in the copies of the memos that were going out to different teams. When those memos were leaked to the press and reported, the NBA immediately spotted the differences and got their man. In this case, it was Detroit Pistons official Joe Dumars, who was fined $500,000 for leaking information to an online sports reporter. The technique that the NBA used is called a barium meal test. This is after the drink taken to make the gastrointestinal system visible during a CAT scan. That test is one of several options. It's not called that. I can't remember what the name of it is. There's a spycraft name for it, and I can't remember. Something I learned like 20 years ago. It's where you change small things, like punctuation is always a good one. You know, you have two different versions of the memo. One memo has a comma at a particular part of one sentence. Instead of, and then another version of the same memo has 3 dots after it. And so what you do is you put out these different kinds of memos. and then you see what comes back. I don't think in spycraft they don't call it a barium meal test. Yuck. Anyway, the government can do that because they're very, very good at stuff like that. As far as the Trump leakers are concerned, only one has been publicly apprehended and charged. Some of the other ones were just fired without being named as leakers, by the way. Now, mostly it's because of sloppiness on the part of the alleged leaker, but according to experts, technology also played a key role. The way you defeat this game, by the way, is you rewrite the memo in your own words. You get all the facts in, but you rewrite the memo in your own words, and you write it differently. Then, if the person you give it to, say, for example, if it's a reporter, etc., they rewrite it in their own language, and that defeats this system. But like I said, it's only one way of doing it. Reality Winner, the former national security contractor who leaked a classified document on Russian interference in the 2016 election, was caught when the document was posted online. But she was totally, she couldn't care less. She said she wanted to do something to help the country. Well, okay. The high-res color image showed a crease, suggesting it had been printed and hand-carried out of a secure space. The document she printed out was also branded with a digital watermark. Oops. In the case of the intelligence community, a watermark is a unique string of digital code often inserted into each copy of a document so that if and when it's shared without authorization, it's possible to identify the original source. Makes you wonder just exactly how difficult it was to find classified information on Hillary Clinton's rogue email server, if that's the way they do things. Yeah. Can you say cooked FBI investigation? But that's another story. I'm digressing. In Winner's case, the digital watermark on the document that she shared with a reporter was tied to a specific printer, a Xerox DocuColor with the model number 54, serial number 295-35218. She was one of a handful of workers with access to that printer. After an NSA audit found that she was the only one who communicated with the website, she was taken into custody. Cybersecurity advisor Morgan Wright said that was easy. Reality Winner is she failed to cover her tracks. I guess she's going to rename herself Reality Convict, so that when they reverse the name, last name first, first name last, she becomes Convict Reality. So there are other ways of doing this. There are electronic intercepts of all kinds, software that can be secretly loaded into a device like a mobile phone, like keyloggers on your computer. There are false positives. Technological approaches can sometimes improve the odds, but can't guarantee that an investigative conclusion will be reached. So in other words, there are ways to make this happen. But there's a bigger problem. Leakers would be useless were it not for a mainstream media hungry to embarrass a president. And so, Jeff Sessions announced today that the Department of Justice is considering issuing subpoenas for journalists in order to determine who in the Trump administration is leaking classified information. Now, you have heard me be extremely critical of the Obama administration spying on Associated Press reporters. There is a big difference between simply opening up the spigots of American intelligence, spying on domestic AP Associated Press reporters, and oh, by the way, James Rosen, and oh, by the way, another guy, James Risen, who is an investigative reporter for the New York Times. See, I thought that was a typo. No, there's a James Rosen and a James Risen, both caught up in this mess. Jeff Sessions is talking about issuing a subpoena for journalists. He is not talking about going to a court in some cases and not going into a court in other cases and just simply opening up the capability of American intelligence and start spying on people. That is what I believe the Obama administration indeed did. And I'm not the only one. Once again, this is not just an opinion. This is the news. So anyway, the Attorney General made the announcement alongside Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats as leaks continue to pile up under the administration. The president continues to be publicly irritated with them. This is Alex Pfeiffer writing for the Daily Caller. The first 6 months of the administration, the DOJ has already received nearly as many criminal referrals involving unauthorized disclosures of classified information as we received in the last 3 years combined. Unbelievable. Now, this leads to a question. Should Jeff Sessions legally involve various reporters, not necessarily to ask for the names of their sources, but rather go through the metadata approach? Okay, when did you receive this information? You see, a reporter cannot be compelled, like a real serious journalist, a brilliant journalist like Gordon Griffin, for example. You see, if you got somebody like Gordon Griffin and you subpoena him in for an interview at the Department of Justice, and you say, Gordon, who was your source? Because he is such a brilliant journalist, Gordon will not answer that question. However, if, say, for example, you ask, well, Mr. Griffin, when did you receive the information that you reported? And Mr. Griffin says, well, I got it last Thursday, and the Department of Justice happens to notice that he got it last Wednesday, then Gordon Griffin can be, into just a little bit of trouble for not telling the truth to the Justice Department. Not that he would do that. Gordon Griffin is an American patriot. He's a true genius of American journalism. So that being said, should the Department of Justice go after these journalists? Yes or no, and why? 866-660-5759. Should they go after these journalists? Yes or no, and why? 866-660-5759. The reason that I'm asking is because I'm trying to figure out whether or not Jeff Sessions should do something along this line, and I believe he should, but not because he's a guy that should just go after reporters. That's not why he should do it. I'll tell you why in just a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, joining us, the aforementioned brilliant journalist of the American radio airwaves, Mr. Gordon Griffin.
Greetings and salutations.
What do you think about this leaking stuff?
I honestly, I'm so spent right now. I'm so tired this evening that I've got tired head from the whole thing. I think there's way too much.
Isn't it incredible?
Yeah.
Well, you've had to deal with this before. You've been in this industry long enough. This has crossed our path several times.
Yeah.
Insofar as reporters have published leaked information that they knew better they should not have done. And yet we find ourselves in a situation where they went ahead and published it and did not suffer jail time or what have you.
Yeah.
It's a really thorny ethical issue.
Yeah, and I get a little nervous too sometimes in our industry where I see a lot of, it seems more than ever, a source said, a source said, a source said, a source said. The more where okay, what gives. And thus we have fake news. We have corruption in the news media. We have left-leaning journalism. We've got chaos is what we have.
I'd love to keep you for longer because this is something that's right down your center line. But I know you have to go back to one of America's great news networks and broadcast to the entire country.
Yes, it's Eastern time up there. What is it? 11:20 Eastern time.
You got to go. Talk to you later. That's Gordon Griffin, formerly of the Wells Report, and now coast to coast on the Salem News Network. Back with more of the Wells Report in just a moment. Texas is a conservative state, but it can only stay that way if Texans are informed and engaged. Hi, I'm John David Wells from the Wells Report. I want to tell you about Empower Texans. Empower Texans is a group that allows people like you and me to know what our politicians are doing. Empower Texans keeps Texans informed and engaged as citizens. How do they do that? Well, through the talents of an amazing man named Michael Quinn Sullivan. He's been a friend of mine for 10 years. He has been one of the guys that have guided me through the maze of Texas politics, and he'll do the same thing for you. He'll show you how to hold elected officials accountable to the voters. That is something that you want to have happen. It's something American politics needs as well, but there's only so much of Michael Quinn Sullivan to go around, and frankly, we need him in Texas more than they need him in America. Besides, as I've said long and hard for many years in Texas, the Texans teach Americans how to be Americans. Maybe there will be an Empower Americans one of these days. Maybe something that Michael Quinn Sullivan can do in his spare time. Visit EmpowerTexans.com and subscribe to their free weekly news digest. Visit EmpowerTexans.com and subscribe to the free weekly news digest. You will not believe what you'll learn. You will wonder how you manage to get along without it. EmpowerTexans.com, EmpowerTexans.com. Get in touch with EmpowerTexans.com. Tell them you heard about it on the Wells Report.
Your home for stimulating talk, 660 AM, The Answer. Sean Hannity explains how Trump retains the White House.
If the Republicans want to stay in power and the president wants to be successful, it's not going to be the noise and the vile rhetoric that prevents him from being in office. What's going to keep him in office is the president keeping his promises.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Larry Elder at 5 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper and deeper in credit card debt and you're not sure how to fix the problem? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management is a nonprofit organization that will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, and reduce your interest rates by as much as 60%. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. It's not a loan. It's a smart way to relieve your stress, meet your obligations, and preserve your self-respect. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Gather up your bills and call this toll-free number for a free, no-obligation debt analysis. 1-800-936-5348. That's 1-800-936-5348. If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348.
Do you have low back or neck pain? Does it run down your arms or your legs? Do you have a bulging or herniated disc degeneration, or spinal arthritis? Even worse, have you been told you need back surgery or injections? If you answered yes, then please listen to what I have to say. My name is Dr. Chad Vines, DC, at Genesis Back and Neck, and I use the most advanced spinal decompression system available, the DRX 9000, to correct back problems just like yours. We don't use addictive drugs, and we don't use any type of dangerous, invasive surgery for these problems. Spinal decompression is safe, FDA cleared, and it's not painful, and has about an 86% success rate. We accept most insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. You will sit down and visit with me personally until I've answered all of your questions. And if you're a candidate for decompression, you can try out the treatment all at no charge to you. So if you're ready to not hurt anymore and don't want to have surgery, call me at 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922, or online at mylowback.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-900-9203. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-900-9203. That's 1-800-900-9203. 1-800-900-9203.
Hello, this is Sam Zimmer with Zimmer, Kubota, and Equipment. Get professional results you can be proud of and cover more ground in less time. Kubota's all-new Commander Pro mower gives you the highest quality engineering and commercial-grade durability. With a 22-horsepower engine and a commercial transmission, the Commander Pro is a perfect option for any fleet or acreage owner who wants premium performance with easy operation. Take advantage of Kubota's Orange Opportunity Sales event going on now. Visit one of our 5 Zimmer Kubota locations or go online at zktractor.com.
This is 660 AM. The Answer. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Telephone number 866-660-5759. Jerry in Cleburne, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report. Hello.
Hey, JD. Thanks for having me on.
You bet.
You know, I tell you, man, it's such a slippery slope. You know, if the conservatives start going after liberal reporters and liberals start going after conservative reporters, we're going to be in just the same mess that we had with Obama. I mean, everybody needs to play fair, but nobody ever does. But I think, and this is what's so weird, it's like the media, it's like they hire the most radical, crazy idiot out there to go out and do something that really requires a lot of ethics and a lot of impartiality in order to report it correctly, like a Cronkite did. Even though Cronkite was a crazy liberal, we still could get the straight scoop from him.
From time to time.
Yeah. But you got to read through everything as it is. I mean, basically,
yeah,
I had
tell
to
me
just
about
cut
it.
the cable.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. No, I
cut
understand. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I mean, it was the hardest thing. I mean, 2011 for me was the hardest thing I've ever done. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And yeah, it was as hard a job as I possibly could trying to navigate these waters. I hear what you're saying. It's a slippery slope to go after the media, but let me let me show you something right here. Okay, check this out. CNBC, quote, journalist, unquote, John Harwood called on a White House staffer to illegally leak classified information yesterday. He tweeted yesterday after a White House source leaked transcripts of President Donald Trump's phone calls with the leaders of Mexico and Australia to the Washington Post. Harwood called on the leaker to do the same for Trump's call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, is that somebody that deserves a subpoena? Yeah. Is that somebody that should get bumped into a little bit? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if you are overtly calling for someone to break federal law, then that makes you an accessory to the crime, in my view. And if you want to be an accessory to the crime, then you're not protected by your free press credentials, my friend. You don't go on you don't go into the national news and call for someone to break federal law. Unless you want to be a part of it. Maxine Waters appeared on The View today, and she applauded the leaks. She said, gosh, I really appreciate these leaks coming out of the White House. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad they're telling us what's going on. Sure they are. How would you like a few of those leaks to come out of your office, Ms. Waters? And by the way, she did mention in that same interview that she still wanted to impeach President Trump, but then also wanted to impeach Vice President Vladimir Putin. She then corrected herself and said that she meant Mike Pence. But it was like everybody in the studio, nobody laughed, nobody applauded, everybody went when she said it. She thought that Mike Pence was Vladimir Putin and vice versa. Okay, thank you, Maxine. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Hello, Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor here. I got a little show on the weekends, Sunday morning, and it's about natural organic gardening. We talk about landscaping and pest control. We talk about tree care. We talk about specific pest control on some things where other people say there are no solutions. Things like oak wilt, rose rosette, crepe myrtle bark scale, and fungal canker on Italian cypress. Join me every Sunday morning, 8 to 11, right here on 660 AM The Answer.
If you've got your sights set on a trip this year, why not celebrate Jerusalem's 50th anniversary in Israel with Dennis Prager, Mike Gallagher, and other 660 AM The Answer listeners? Stand with Israel and explore all that it has to offer, from modern urban and political vitality to historic and ancient landmarks you cannot find anywhere else. This October 22nd through November 1st, come see the majesty of the Mediterranean coastline, friendly cosmopolitan cities, and the intercultural dynamics of Israel. With a cultural past that reaches back even before recorded history, make your plans now to explore Israel's sites like the Golan Heights, the Western Wall, Jerusalem, and much more. You've read and heard about these places for years. Now come and visit them for yourself. Stand with Israel this October 22nd through November the 1st. Time is running out to book your trip. For affordable prices and all-inclusive details, visit 660amtheanswer.com. That's 660amtheanswer.com to register.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friend Josh DeShong. Let's make this the summer where Josh sells your home as quickly as he sold ours. I love this guy. You get the Josh DeShong promise. He comes, sits down with you, you talk price and time frame. You reach an agreement on a price you'd love and a time frame you can handle. And if he can't sell that house of yours at that price in that time frame, he buys it. He promises if he can't sell it, he buys it. So get going. 972-325-6644. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net. Now, not only will he do that on the market, but there's an instant buyout program right now. They can give you an offer today without even listing the home. Best part is in a lot of areas throughout North Texas, you're getting full market value without even listing the home, not worrying about showings and stuff. So if you're really ready to move fast, go for the instant buyout program. 972-325-6644. Ask about it at 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
If you're a CPAP user, soap and water cleaning may leave harmful bacteria, viruses, and mold that can make you sick. That alone will keep you up at night. Until now, SoClean.com is the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. SoClean kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs without soap, water, harsh chemicals, or even equipment disassembly. And now you can try it risk-free for 30 days. Call 1-800-760-2320.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean's revolutionary design makes it easy to clean your CPAP and protect you against CPAP-related illnesses. Plus, SoClean works with all popular CPAP devices to clean them in minutes. It really is that easy. Don't risk your health. Call SoClean.com now to try it risk-free for 30 days. Call 1-800-760-2320. This offer won't last. Call now. 800-760-2320. 800-760-2320.
People call us when they just don't want to waste any more time living out an uncertain financial future.
Jerry Bailey and Dottie Schaefer of the Retirement Hour.
People often make serious mistakes when they inherit money or when they move money around from one account to another. Call us first and keep your money safe.
For over 30 years, we've helped Texas families just like yours eliminate their risk in retirement. The sooner you call, the safer your options.
Call us today for your free, no-obligation retirement review in our Dallas or our Fort Worth office.
The future is coming. When it's your last day in the office, enjoy peace of mind knowing you won't be blindsided in retirement. 800-550-6750.
Protect and grow with us. Local relationship, local accountability.
Don't run out of money before you run out of time. Call Jerry and Dottie for your free no-obligation consultation. 800-550-6750. Learn more at theretirementhour.com. 800-550-6750.
Get to Lumber Liquidators Summer Splash Flooring Sale for the best deals on the best selection of wood-look waterproof floors and more. Choose from more than 40 varieties of vinyl plank up to 45% off. Get 20% off Avella wood-look tile packages. And all water-resistant Dream Home X2O laminate is on sale. Plus, get pre-finished hardwood on sale from $149. Like Bellawood Select Maple, it's 30% off. More from 49 cents and special financing. Hurry, get to the Summer Splash Flooring Sale today.
660 AM. The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. So it's not so simple. It's not so simple. Jeff Sessions has a tough row to hoe. But then again, he's going to have to do something. He's going to have to do something about the frank enemies of this president. Found out today that special counsel Robert S. Mueller III. Special counsel Robert S. Mueller III is using now at least 2 grand juries. Yeah, he's using one in Virginia and one in Washington, D.C. to advance a wide-ranging federal inquiry into possible coordination between President Trump's campaign in Moscow. As he investigates Russia's interference in the presidential election, Mueller may continue to use multiple panels or eventually consolidate those efforts in Washington, where the special counsel team has only begun to use a grand jury in recent weeks. Now, this is information from a lawyer inside the Mueller inquiry. He requested anonymity because he was pretty sure that Robert Mueller would take him out on, some meadow at sunrise and shoot him. He said both venues continued to be active in recent days. The use of grand juries located in Washington is potentially significant. It likely means investigators are probing activities that happened within that jurisdiction, whatever that means. What do you think about all this? Part of me says, and everybody is trying to lure the president of the United States, into firing Robert Mueller. They're saying, you better not fire Robert Mueller. Better not fire Robert S. Mueller III, my God. You better not do it. You better not. He has no need to fire Robert Mueller. Robert Mueller really doesn't have anything to do with him, aside from the fact that he's trying to destroy his presidency and at some point maybe throw him in jail. But that being said, he's not going to fire Robert Mueller. Besides, that's not the guy he needs to fire anyway. The guy he needs to fire, I mean, seriously, like right now, the guy he needs to fire is Rod Rosenstein. Rod Rosenstein's a bad guy. I mean, I'm serious. He's the deep state actor that's screwing this up. He truly does need to be fired. And I sincerely hope that he does get fired. I sincerely hope that at some point someone fires Rod Rosenstein. I don't know that it's going to happen. All you can do is hope for the best. So no, part of me says that this is embarrassing and this is terrible. This is clearly political. This is, a bunch of Democrats trying to investigate the president. It is an investigation in search of a crime, as opposed to a crime in search of an understanding based on a good investigation. This is someone having to prove to everyone that he is indeed innocent. It's not the way we do things in the United States, and it really bugs me. On the other hand, I'm reasonably sure that what the president said is absolutely true. That there is nothing to this. That this is indeed a witch hunt. This is indeed a situation where there's nothing to it. A total concoction on the part of the American political left. But nevertheless, he's out there. It was a grand jury yesterday. Well, it's two grand juries at least today. Elsewhere in this double standard mess of what's going on in Washington, former United Nations Ambassador Samantha Power is believed to have made hundreds of unmasking requests to identify individuals named in classified intelligence community reports related to Donald Trump and his presidential transition team. This according to multiple sources who said the behavior is unprecedented for an official in her position. So why was she doing it? Power was identified by the Washington Free Beacon, the Beak, as a central figure in a congressional investigation into efforts by senior Obama administration officials to obtain classified intelligence information in what many allege was an effort to undermine President Donald Trump and his incoming national security team. There is no doubt about this. This was indeed a deep state operation to take out Michael Flynn. And it was because they hated Michael Flynn because he disagreed with the president, or they were afraid of Michael Flynn for what he was going to be able to tell anybody having to do with President Obama. Michael Flynn blew the opportunity to find out what that was, at least with any credibility, when he made a mistake and lied to Mike Pence. The vice president of the United States then fired him as soon as he found out, and that was that. Power is believed to be the anonymous official responsible for hundreds of unmasking requests during the final year of the Obama administration. This according to current and former U.S. officials who spoke to the Free Beacon about the ongoing investigation. Efforts by the former Obama administration to obtain names of Trump allies included in the raw intelligence reports have fueled speculation the subsequent leaks to the press were orchestrated by former administration and its allies in a bid to damage the current White House and smear Donald Trump's most senior confidants. By the way, Representative Devin Nunes, the chair of the House Intelligence Committee, which is handling the probe, petitioned Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats last week to request his help in addressing the unmasking issue. Nunes disclosed in his letter the former Obama administration had easy access to sensitive classified information, that they may have used it to achieve partisan political purposes, including the selective anonymous leaking of such information. That is exactly what happened. Remember Sidney Blumenthal? As we continue to weave our way from one side of the investigative double standard to the other. Do you remember Sidney Blumenthal? He was the friend of Hillary Clinton. This is a guy who is an honest-to-goodness, no-kidding spook. This guy is an operative from the word go. He's one of these guys that operates completely invisibly in plain sight. Clinton family confidant Sidney Blumenthal lashed out today at a top Republican senator for invoking his name at a high-profile hearing last week, accusing the senator of lying about his supposed ties to a foreign political party. Here's what happened. Senator Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, mentioned Blumenthal during a Russia-related hearing last Wednesday, suggesting a double standard was at play. He questioned why President Trump's associates were taking heat for foreign ties, but Blumenthal did not register as a foreign agent while working as an off-the-books intelligence resource for then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Grassley specifically cited news articles saying he sent materials to Clinton on behalf of a political party in the country of Georgia. You owe me an apology for lying about me, Blumenthal countered. You sent that in a letter today to Grassley. You made a public statement about me that was completely false in every particular. Really? You see, that conversation can't continue in public for obvious reasons. So Chuck Grassley said one thing. Sidney Blumenthal returned with a reply. And there is the standoff. Believe what you choose. And then there's this. This is very curious to me. The FBI monitored social media on Election Day. They were trying to track a suspected Russian disinformation campaign utilizing fake news. This, according to CNN, the foremost expert on fake news. In the months leading up to an election day, Twitter and Facebook were the feeding grounds for viral news stories, floating conspiracies and hoaxes, many aimed at spreading negative false claims about Hillary Clinton. They also spread negative false claims about Donald Trump and just about everybody else in the United States. I mean, Twitter and Facebook are replete with people looking bad for various reasons. But it's interesting to me that CNN reports that many of these fake news stories were aimed at spreading negative false claims about Hillary Clinton when all the fake news that I am aware of was against Donald Trump. Once again, disinformation at play. On Election Day, dozens of agents and analysts huddled at a command center, arrayed with large monitoring screens at FBI headquarters in Washington, watching for security threats. Or nasty things being said about Hillary Clinton. That included analysts monitoring cyber threats after months of mounting Russian intrusions, targeting every part of the U.S. political system, from political parties to policy think tanks to state election systems. On this day, there was also a group of FBI cyber and counterintelligence analysts and investigators watching social media. See, that's a waste of American resources, except for political reasons. This tells you how political the FBI has gotten. They actually had more than one person. They had analysts in a tactical operations center looking at Facebook and Twitter, trying to find bad things, not about President Trump, not about anybody involved in the campaign, but specifically about Hillary Clinton. In other words, the FBI has been turned by the Democrat Party. Which is why, of course, that, James Comey and Robert S. Mueller III, are so deep involved in this hit job against President Trump. This is what happens when a leftist, progressive, anti-American thug gets his hands on an entire United States federal agency. In this case, the FBI. It is the darkest day ever for the FBI that they are playing politics at this level. It's terrible. And as I reported yesterday, Andrew McCabe, the guy who is currently in charge of the FBI, he was the deputy director, preparing his fellow FBI upper management to be witnesses against President Trump. As one of the major pieces of the leftist political coup against this president falls into place. That being the secret police preparing to testify in a kangaroo court against a president of the United States. And so, here we go. The FBI tracking fake news from Twitter and Facebook. You know, it's not a problem when it's on Twitter and Facebook. You know that, right? It's not a problem. It's only a problem when people like CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post lift the stories out of Twitter and Facebook and go to press with them as if they were real news. That's the only time it ever becomes a problem. The FBI did not need to watch all of this. All they needed to do was check out stories that didn't make sense to anyone with what may have appeared on Facebook, and you can do that without having to monitor it during Election Day. I wonder how many people got very scary notices from the FBI for saying something snippy about Hillary that day. This is the Wells Report.
How will the future affect the money decisions you make now? Find out Saturday morning with Jerry Tuma and John Criswell on Smart Money. Smart Money will bring you the latest information regarding financial markets and what it means to you and your investment and retirement portfolio. Not knowing could be costly. Smart Money, a voice of experience and integrity, with Jerry Tuma and John Criswell. Saturday mornings at 8 on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code 660AM.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Simple Sleep Services. If snoring is a problem in your life, and if it's a problem in your life, it's a problem for everybody in your life. Let's get the simplest, least invasive solution. That's what they did for me at Simple Sleep Services. What you have with Simple Sleep is a way to avoid implants and surgery and the CPAP device by just calling 469-685-1700. 469-685-1700. They're in Dallas and Fort Worth. Insurance covers most folks. It's the Somnodent device. Simple appliance. They make it for you. They did one for me. You take it home, you pop it in, kiss your wife goodnight, and silent night. Absolutely fantastic. Diagnosis from a board-certified sleep physician. They have a home sleep study, so you're not in some lab. Call them for more information. 469-685-1700. 469-685-1700. SimpleSleepServices.com. Wonderful people. I'm so glad I met them, and you will be too. 469-685-1700 or SimpleSleepServices.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543. An absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-700-0299. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible, without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-700-0299. That's 1-800-700-0299. 1-800-700-0299.
Napa know-how.
For something that has anti in its name, Prestone Antifreeze and Coolant, now just $11.99 at Napa, sure is pro a lot of things. It's pro keeping your car from overheating, pro maintaining your engine from wear and tear, and pro saving you cash. Prestone Antifreeze and Coolant, just $11.99. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 8/31/17.
660 AM, The Answer. Now, the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. Let's talk to Bill in Fort Worth.
Hey, John David. You and I had a previous conversation several months ago talking about the left and their agenda, and I think Maxine Waters today spelled it out.
Oh, yeah.
Just like I had said on The View when she said, as soon as they can connect the dots and get rid of Trump, but Pence is next. With stuff like that going on with McCain and what he did, with Obamacare reform, voting against it out of spite, and now threatening to put the Gang of Eight together.
Yeah.
When he gets back, from his vacation to stop the immigration reform. I don't see how Trump, with everything that's going on, is going to be able to accomplish much of anything, as far as what he was.
Well, until he starts fighting back, Bill, it's not going to happen. I mean, he can play the long game if he wants to, right. But this looks like, this looks like a job that is going to be a distraction and a problem for the president. I mean, what Robert Mueller's doing for the duration of the first half of his first term as president. I mean, this is the Democrat agenda.
Right. Well, taking the fact that he's got the media, the Democrats, the Republicans, and everybody else against him, that's kind of a hard uphill battle for him.
There's no doubt about it. And he's going to have to depend on who. It's us, Bill. We're going to have to stand by this president. This is the Wells Report.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? Are you tired of paying high fees and commission even when you lose your money? How would you like to have guaranteed growth and a lifetime of income you could never outlive? Then join Brian Baker for the Smart Money Radio Show every Saturday at 5 p.m. Brian is an expert and can give you the answers to those questions and will teach you how to be smart with your money. That's Smart Money Radio with Brian Baker every Saturday at 5 p.m. right here on 660 AM, The Answer.
Hi, you may recognize my voice. For years, I've been doing the commercials for Vein Clinics of America. The really funny thing is I had bulging varicose and spider veins for years and didn't do anything about it. There were whole summers I'd play the cover-up game and suffer because I didn't want to wear shorts or skirts. Listen, when your veins are bulging out the back of your legs, you don't want people to see. It's embarrassing and painful. So I finally did something and I went to Vein Clinics of America. It was so much easier than I thought. My treatments only took about an hour and I went right back to work. And now I'm wearing shorts and my legs look and feel amazing. Best of all, my insurance covered the procedure. So stop hiding. Call Vein Clinics of America now. They're the best. They're the largest, and they've been helping people restore their legs for over 35 years. There's absolutely no reason to suffer any longer. Call Vein Clinics now for your free fast-track consultation. Call 800-780-1975. 800-780-1975. That's 800-780-1975.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. Always enjoyed checking in with Chef Tom Fleming at Crossroads Diner, Dallas. Breakfast starts at 7, lunch kicks in at 11, but after that, it's total freedom of choice.
There's a lot of people that like breakfast for lunch. And so we sell probably 50% breakfast items at lunchtime.
No kidding. So if I walk in at noon, easily half the place could be eating breakfast.
Absolutely.
Wow. And a lot of those breakfast orders, my favorite on the menu, the frittata.
Oh, the Crossroads frittata with our house-made chorizo and goat cheese from the mozzarella company. Our house-made breakfast sausage that we make in frittata with horse and cheese, which guess what? We make in-house also. There's our vegetarian, which is very important. Some great fresh vegetables, artichokes, peppers, tomatoes, mushrooms, spinach.
I can taste it now. You can taste the great Crossroads Diner menu 7 to 2. Great breakfast and lunch at the northeast corner of Preston and Campbell. Ask about special events, rehearsal dinners, and more. Go to crossroads-diner.com for more details. Homestyle goodness meets the traditional diner. Go to crossroads-diner.com.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris DeMeo. Positive jobs numbers out on Friday. Unemployment down 1/10 of a point last month to 4.3%. President Trump quick to take credit.
In a tweet this morning that actually broke an OMB rule requiring he wait an hour before commenting, President Trump touted the creation of 209,000 jobs last month and said he has only just begun.
Fox's John Roberts. The House Speaker talking taxes during an appearance in Franklin, Wisconsin. Paul Ryan also discussing the importance of job training, getting people back to work.
One of our big jobs is to make sure that we close this thing we call the skills gap. Making sure that people can get the skills they need to get the jobs they want, so they can get good careers for themselves and their families. That's a big deal here in Wisconsin and in America, something we're working on.
Ryan says the U.S. taxes businesses at a higher rate than foreign competitors, putting the U.S. at a disadvantage. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Stimulating talk, 660 AM, The Answer.
Hi, this is Kevin Christ with the KPC Financial Show.
And I'm Karen Christ, his better half.
You said it, honey.
And we are the founders of KPC Financial Solutions. We want to invite you to listen every Sunday at 5 p.m. to our KPC Financial Show, where we will share with you the 7 strategies for successful retirement and how to tailor-make your retirement blueprint.
So join us right here every Sunday at 5 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
It's after 5 o'clock and you're driving home from another day at the office. Wouldn't it be nice if your advertising was working around the clock? And if you came into the office the next day with some new business to work on? That would be great, right? Here at 660 AM The Answer, we talk to business owners every day, and they all want the same thing, positive word of mouth. They want people talking about them in a good way. Well, we've done that for businesses all across the Metroplex. That's why you hear commercials from many of the same advertisers day after day. It's because advertising on 660 AM The Answer works. And we can do that for your business. Imagine your commercial running in shows you listen to each day, like John David Wells, Mark Davis, or Sean Hannity. Now, it's not right for everybody, and we'll tell you if it's not. We value clients that have the same high ethical standards that we hold dear. If this sounds good to you, go to 660amtheanswer.com and click on Advertise with Us, and it will give you some more information. Then just give us a call or shoot us an email. Thanks.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friends at Climate Evangelista Eye Center, and we both have a question for you. Are you wearing contact lenses or glasses right now? If so, another question. Why? It's time to be free to see with KE, as in Climate Evangelista Eye Center. Don't continue to settle for contacts and glasses, the hassles, the never-ending costs. Be free to see with KE, Climate Evangelista Eye Center, offering LASIK for no money down and as low as $3 a day, and receive an after LASIK adventure like tickets to the zoo, water park, stuff that used to be problematic back when you had contacts to pop out or glasses to lose. If you think you might find a better price in town, let us know. With a KE Value Match Guarantee, they'll meet or beat any competitor with the same technology and warranty. For more info, 1-800-714-2020 to schedule your free LASIK consultation today. LASIK Surgery, LASIK, LASIKsurgery.com, or call 1-800-714-2020. Be free to see. 1-800-714-2020.
Attention, this is an investor notice. Are you interested in making some extra cash buying real estate tax liens? Then listen to this. The Government Tax Lien Network is offering a free tax lien kit, which contains 2 DVDs and a step-by-step report that will show you how to earn guaranteed returns between 15 and 35% yearly, which is completely secured by the government. They'll even show you how to do this inside your own retirement accounts. So if you're looking to become a real estate investor without risk, then call 1-800-724-8146 now to get your free tax lien kit. Then get ready to buy tax liens for pennies on the dollar and buy houses for as low as $500, all from your home with little or no money, working only 5 to 10 hours per week. Call 800-724-8146 right now to get your free tax lien kit, plus 2 free tickets to a live training event and a free $20 Visa gift card just for attending. Call 800-724-8146. That's 800-724-8146 for your free tax lien kit now. Individual results may vary.
If you're not incorporated and you're a truck driver, a cafe owner, a construction contractor, a real estate agent, a consultant, or any small business owner, then you are at risk. If someone sues and you're not incorporated, you could lose everything. Your home, your car, even your personal life savings. That's why Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation toolkit to all business owners, including exclusive information on how to start and grow your business. For your free incorporation toolkit, call now. 1-800-600-8551. Incorporation is the shield that protects your personal assets. Without it, you could lose everything. That's why at Incorporate.com, they just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. They don't provide legal or financial advice. So if you're a personal trainer, a travel agent, or run a tech startup or any small business, call now for your free incorporation toolkit. They're giving them away for free at 1-800-600-8551. That's 1-800-600-8551.
Need a new CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we carry the world's best CPAP machines, including top-of-the-line ResMed equipment. To move inventory, we're selling our ResMed AirStart machines at a fraction of the price of similar machines. Call now and ask for one of these overstocked CPAPs. We'll even provide free next-day air shipping on your ResMed machine order, so you get it fast. Call 1-800-900-6135. The best part? No insurance needed. Our CPAPs are priced so low they can even cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and has everything you need to treat sleep apnea. With no retail overhead or costly middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com is overstocked on ResMed AirStart CPAPs and offering free next-day air shipping on these devices. Call now for these great deals and others. Call 1-800-900-6135. If lines are busy, please try again. That's 1-800-900-6135.
660 AM The Answer. 660 AM TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is The Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. There are a couple of things I need to tell you about here as we head towards midnight on Friday night in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. The Obama administration misled Americans to believe the cost of ObamaCare would be cheaper than it actually was. This is according to an Inspector General report released yesterday. The Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration's report concluded the International Revenue Service drastically understated the cost of enrolling in Obamacare. The IRS told Americans that once government subsidies were applied, plans would be available for $75 a month or less. Wow. But the IG found that the average cost was in reality estimated to be more than twice that amount, at $168 per month. The misleading information was provided to Americans in letters sent by the IRS after the health care law was enacted in 2010. The letters encouraged Americans to enroll in Obamacare, explaining how the new law, under the individual mandate, required all Americans to have health insurance or be subject to a penalty. Many of the nearly 7.5 million taxpayers who received letters and sought insurance may have felt misled if the actual cost of their insurance is much higher than the $75 per month detailed in their notification letter. The IRS attempted to explain the discrepancy by saying that they used numbers provided by the Department of Health and Human Services. And they added that the $75 figure was true for some taxpayers. Well, some people win the lottery. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, was there really anything ever true about the Affordable Care Act? I have long said that there has been an unholy alliance between the anti-American, leftist, progressive thugs and the American media. And it's easy to find what the anti-American, leftist, progressive thugs think about America. You can just quote them from the newspaper. But it's a lot tougher to see the mainstream media's complicity in it. I have, however, found an article that that shows it pretty much in suit. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Reporters with the Washington Post, this from the Washington Examiner. Reporters with the Washington Post and the New York Times were apparently less than enthusiastic about covering the controversial private meeting between then Attorney General Loretta Lynch and former President Bill Clinton months ahead of the 2016 election. The nonprofit American Center for Law and Justice published emails today that showed reporters asking Department of Justice officials for details on that meeting. Mark Lander, a reporter for the Times, is seen in one June 30th email reaching out to a DOJ official to say he's been pressed into service to write about the questions being raised by the meeting. Matt Zapotowski with the Post emailed a DOJ official the same day after several other emails to say that his editors are still pretty interested in the story, but he wanted to put it to rest. Liberals communicating with other liberals to say, hey, look, I'm being forced to do something I don't want to do. Lynch and Clinton met on the tarmac in Phoenix to discuss primarily social matters. It wasn't what they discussed. They could have discussed anything. That they met was so improper and such an amazing game changer that this was one of the cornerstones of the Russian mess that about collusion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was also something that caused deep consternation with James Comey, who then ran over Loretta Lynch and ended the Hillary Clinton rogue server investigation, which is something he should have never done. That, by the way, was obstruction of justice. The James Comey would have done that is obstruction of justice. But rather than people have any kind of investigation into James Comey, my goodness, we have to determine whether or not the president, when he meant, hey, I hope you can see your way clear to let Michael Flynn go, he's a good guy, whether that is far more obstruction of far more justice than James Comey actually committing the crime. So in other words, here are all these, quote, journalists, unquote, having problems moving forward with an investigation on the story to publish a story about what happened as they reach out, as these leftist journalism operators reach out to DOJ, the Obama administration DOJ. They say, hey, look, I don't want to do this, but, you know, you got to really help me out here. Yeah, whatever. So there you go. These two stories, these next two stories are stories that we're going to bring back 50 years from now and laugh at. I won't, because I'll be dead. Unless I happen to live to age 119. No, I'm sorry, 109. I'll be 109. It could happen. You're pretty leathery. I'm pretty wiry. You know, they probably will have a way to transfer my consciousness into a much better looking robot body. I just hope it's male. Anyway, Rod Dreher in American Conservative wrote this. Smartphones are our soma. For those of us who have really abused our chassis over the years, soma is a wonderful pain-relieving device that after you've torn muscles off of bone, it really helps you feel a lot better. I mean, it really does. Soma is really good. And that's what he means. Smartphones are our soma. In other words, our narcotic. He writes, I've been researching generational differences for 25 years, starting when I was a 22-year-old doctoral student in psychology. Typically, the characteristics that come to define a generation appear gradually and along a continuum. Beliefs and behaviors were already rising simply continue to do so. Millennials, for example, are a highly individualistic generation, but individualism has been increasing since the baby boomers tuned in, and dropped out. Timothy Leary. I had grown accustomed to the line graphs of trends that looked like modest hills and valleys. Then I began studying Athena's generation. Around 2012, I noticed abrupt shifts in teen behaviors and emotional states. The gentle slopes of the line graphs became steep mountains and sheer cliffs. Many of the distinctive characteristics of the millennial generation began to disappear. In all my analyses of generational data, some reaching back to the 1930s, I'd never seen anything like it. At first, I presumed these might be blips, but the trends persisted across several years in a series of national surveys. The changes weren't just in degree, but in kind. The biggest difference between the millennials and their predecessors was in how they viewed the world. Teens today differ from the millennials not just in their views, but how they spend their time. The experiences they have every day are radically different from those of the generation that came of age just a few years before them. What happened in 2012 to cause such dramatic shifts in behavior? It was after the Great Recession, which officially lasted from 2007 to 2009 and had a starker effect on millennials trying to find a place in the sputtering economy. But it was exactly the moment when the proportion of Americans who owned a smartphone surpassed 50 cents. 50 cent. 50%. Twenge follows up with a barrage of statistics and analyses. The charts are jaw-dropping. Smartphones and social media are creating a society where people are radically atomized and do not know how to interact with other people, not even their families. Twenge cites psychological research showing the kids in what she terms iGen, those born between 1995 and 2012, who grew up with smartphones, are far, far more likely to experience depression and malaise. One hopeful statistic from that generation, they are having less sex and starting it much later, maybe well due to the fact that they aren't talking as much face-to-face to other people. What's at stake isn't just how kids experience adolescence. The constant presence of smartphones is likely to affect them well into adulthood. Among people who suffer an episode of depression, at least half become depressed again later in life. Adolescence is a key time for developing social skills. As teens spend less time with their friends face-to-face, they have fewer opportunities to practice them. In the next decade, we may see more adults who know just the right emoji for a situation, but not the right facial expression. Interesting. So, like television, smartphones are evil and will destroy everything. By the way, they said the same thing about syncopated music. It's going to destroy everything. Damn Glenn Miller. Ba-dum-dum, wah, do-wah, ba-dum, do-wah, dum-da-da-dum, ba-dum, do-wah. Makes you want to jump right into bed with the nearest human being around you. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. I'm just kidding. Anyway, syncopated music. I think that a lot of this is, not so much. I'm not really concerned about that. But the Atlantic is. More comfortable online than out partying, post-millennials are safer physically than adolescents have ever been. But they're on the brink of a mental health crisis. So says Gene Twenge. This is the report I was just talking about. One day last summer around noon, I called Athena, a 13-year-old who lives in Houston, Texas. She answered her phone. She's had an iPhone since she was 11. Sounded like she just woke up. We chatted about her favorite songs and TV shows. I asked her what she likes to do with her friends. We go to the mall, she said. Do your parents drop you off? Recalling my own middle school days in the 1980s when I'd enjoy a few parent-free hours shopping with my friends. No, I go with my family. We'll go with mom and brothers and walk a little behind them. I just have to tell my mom where we're going. I have to check in every hour or 30 minutes or so. Those mall trips are infrequent, about once a month. More often, Athena and her friends spend time together on their phones, unchaperoned. Unlike the teens of my generation who might have spent an evening tying up the family landline with gossip, they talk on Snapchat, the smartphone app that allows users to send pictures and videos that quickly disappear or not. Are you seeing this? You'll be hearing more of this in just a moment. This is the Wells Report.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. We have an idea, a celebration featuring you and some special guests. Join us for an evening with Mark Davis, Wednesday, September 20th, Austin Ranch and Grapevine, featuring Colonel Alan West, Cowboys legend Daryl Moose Johnston, and my talk show brother, Mike Gallagher. Tickets on sale now at 660amtheanswer.com. A great dinner and an evening of radio stories, hot topics, unpredictable moments. An evening with Mark Davis. Join us September 20th. Tickets on sale now at 660amtheanswer.com.
Sponsored by AAA Auger Plumbing Services and Southwest Office Systems.
Hi, I'm Rick Foster with Guardian Financial Management and the host of Plain Talk, No Worries Financial Hour. Heard right here on 660 AM at 4 o'clock every Saturday. Do you know why the stock market did so well in the 80s and 90s and why there have been 2 major crashes in the last 16 years? You need to know the reasons why so you can make the right decisions for your family. Listen to Plain Talk, No Worries here every Saturday at 4 o'clock and we will pull back the curtains and show you the truth. That's 4 o'clock on Saturday right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
If you're not incorporated and you're a truck driver, a cafe owner, a construction contractor, a real estate agent, a consultant, or any small business owner, then you are at risk. If someone sues and you're not incorporated, you could lose everything. Your home, your car, even your personal life savings. That's why Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation toolkit to all business owners, including exclusive information on how to start and grow your business. For your free incorporation toolkit, call now, 1-800-600-8551. Incorporation is the shield that protects your personal assets. Without it, you could lose everything. That's why at Incorporate.com, they just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. They don't provide legal or financial advice. So if you're a personal trainer, a travel agent, or run a tech startup or any small business, call now for your free incorporation toolkit. They're giving them away for free at 1-800-600-8551. That's 1-800-600-8551.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears because there's an alternative to bankruptcy and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now. 1-800-600-3731. That's 1-800-600-3731. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-600-3731. 1-800-600-3731. 1-800-600-3731.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Your logo is your brand, your reputation. It's your most valuable asset. So what's the best thing to do with it? Give it away. When the experts at 4imprint put your logo on the right promotional products, giving those items away can make a lasting impression, empower your brand, and attract new customers. In fact, we'll prove it by revealing the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers absolutely free. Simply text the keyword GIVE to 642-642. We don't just print your logo. We're here to help you every step of the way. The 4imprint team can make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items, all delivered on time at great prices with free art assistance and outstanding customer service that's second to none. Want to turn your logo into profit? Give it away. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers absolutely free by texting GIVE to 642-642. That's GIVE to 642-642.
660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report with John David Wells. Must hear radio on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. We're going through the latest threat to an entire generation. This time it's smartphones. You know, it was computers where everybody was sitting around their computer, and it was the internet, and it was the sewage that was being pumped into your house through the cable that came out of the wall, and so on and so on. So we've lived through all of these things. I'm a little bit surprised that still we have people saying, you know, these are terrible, horrible, strange trends that we're not gonna live through. Oh, okay. This particular article in The Atlantic and it's a brilliant article. You've got to download this and read it. You just do. It's by Jean M. Twenge. She continues talking about this conversation she had with Athena and her smartphone and her friends. They make sure to keep up their snap streaks, which shows how many days in a row they've Snapchatted with each other. Sometimes they save screenshots of a particularly ridiculous picture of friends. It's good blackmail, Athena says, because she's a minor. I'm not using her real name, you think? She told me she spent most of the summer hanging out alone in her room with her phone. That's just the way her generation is, she said. We didn't have a choice to know any life without iPads or iPhones. I think we like our phones more than we like actual people. Well, I've been researching generational differences for 25 years, starting when I was a 22-year-old doctoral student in psychology. This is from the other article. She goes on and she keeps talking about this. The more I poured over the yearly surveys of teen attitudes and behaviors, the more I talked with young people, the clearer it became that their generation is shaped by the smartphone and by the concomitant rise of social media. Yeah, my son's in this. He is socially inept, but friendly and quiet. And so the interesting thing about this, for me, being a security hound, is that lots of people can reach out and touch your child, unchaperoned, alone, with her smartphone. A lot of people can reach out and say hi. Amanda Rushing, on behalf of her child referred to as LL, is suing the Walt Disney Company Disney Electronic Content and others in a proposed class action filed yesterday in California federal court. What is she suing over? She claims an advertising-specific software development kit is surreptitiously embedded in the code for a Disney app. And that's how Disney collects personal information and tracks online behavior. App developers and their SKD providing partners can track children's behavior while they play online games with their mobile devices by obtaining critical pieces of data from the mobile devices, including persistent identifiers, typically a unique number linked to a specific mobile device. These persistent identifiers allow SDK providers to detect a child's activity across multiple apps. So they track your kids on these smartphones, iPads, iPhones. But don't worry, they're tracking you too. This is the Wells Report.
Sean Hannity explains how Trump retains the White House.
If the Republicans want to stay in power and the president wants to be successful, it's not going to be the noise and the vile rhetoric that prevents him from being in office. What's going to keep him in office is the president keeping his promises.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Larry Elder at 5 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM. The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your life.
Promo time, promo time, promo time, promo time, promo time, promo time. Okay, let's see, where were we? Oh, yeah. $20 trillion and still climbing. Hi, I'm John David Wells. On the next edition of the Wells Report, the Republican Congress has to deal with it again. What is it? That's right, they have to raise the debt ceiling again. You see, they spend money and then they raise the debt ceiling to cover it. It doesn't work. It has never worked. It should never work this way. And yet, with a Republican-controlled Congress and a Republican president, we haven't changed the way we do business in Washington. We'll talk about it next time on the Wells Report.
To use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-400-1841. Again, that's 1-800-400-1841.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears, because there's an alternative to bankruptcy, and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now. 1-800-600-3731. That's 1-800-600-3731. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-600-3731. 1-800-600-3731. 1-800-600-3731.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-900-9203. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-900-9203. That's 1-800-900-9203. 1-800-900-9203.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/talk radio and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/talk radio.
When it comes to retirement, people often ask, do I have enough to retire on? How can I take advantage of stock market gains while helping protect what I have from a crash? What can I do to maximize retirement cash flow? Should I roll over my 401k? If any of these questions sound familiar or you have more, don't miss the next free Money Matters Retirement Seminar. Choose Rockwell August 12th or Fort Worth August 17th. Reserve now at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. The Wells Report is on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. I ran across a Politico article today. It's the first piece of journalism that comes from a newly released stack of documents. It came from Politico. It was written by Philip Shannon and Larry Sabato. You know Larry Sabato. After the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, November 1963, the CIA appeared eager, even desperate, to embrace the version of events being offered by the FBI, the Secret Service, and other parts of the government. The official story: a delusional misfit, a self-proclaimed Marxist named Lee Harvey Oswald, killed the president in Dallas with a $21 mail-order rifle, and that there was no evidence of a conspiracy, foreign or domestic. Clearly, the CIA leaders told the Warren Commission, the independent panel that investigated the murder, there was no evidence of a conspiracy that a spy agency could have foiled. But thousands of pages of long, secret assassination-related documents released by the National Archives last week show that within a few years of Kennedy's murder, some in the CIA began to worry internally that the official story was wrong, an alarm that the agency never sounded publicly. Specifically, key CIA officials were concerned by the mid-1970s that the agency, the FBI, the Secret Service, and the White House had never followed up on important clues about Oswald's contacts with foreign agents, including diplomats and spies for the communist governments of Cuba and the Soviet Union, who might have been aware of his plans to kill Kennedy and may have even encouraged the plot. There is no credible evidence cited in the documents released so far that Cuban leader Fidel Castro or other foreign leaders had any personal role in ordering Kennedy's murder. The CIA documents also offer tantalizing speculation about the chain of events in late 1963 that explains Oswald's motives for killing Kennedy, which may have previously never been established with certainty. How he may have become enraged after reading a detailed article in his hometown paper in New Orleans in September suggesting that his hero Castro had been targeted for assassination by the Kennedy administration. According to that theory, Oswald, who had rifle training in the Marine Corps, then set out to seek vengeance on Castro's behalf, to kill Kennedy, before the American president managed to kill the Cuban leader. If that proved true, it would have raised a terrible question for the CIA. Was it possible that JFK's assassination was, directly or indirectly, blowback for the spy agency's plot to kill Castro. It would eventually be acknowledged that the CIA had, in fact, repeatedly tried to assassinate Castro, sometimes in collusion with the mafia, throughout Kennedy's presidency. The CIA's arsenal of weapons against Castro included a fungus-infected scuba suit, a poison-filled hypodermic needle hidden in a pen, and even an exploding cigar. The Warren Commission, never told about the CIA's Castro plots, mostly ducked the questions of Oswald's motives, other than saying in its final report that he had expressed a hatred for American society. JFK historians and the nation's large army of private assassination researchers are still scrambling to make sense of the latest batch of tens of thousands of pages, previously secret CIA FBI documents that were unsealed last week by the National Archives. The documents, 441 files that had previously been withheld entirely, along with 3,369 others that had been previously released only in part, were made public under the terms of a 1992 law that requires the unsealing of all JFK assassinated-related documents by October, the law's 25-year deadline. Since the release last week, researchers do not appear to have identified any single document that could be labeled a bombshell or a rewrite to the history of the assassination in any significant way. Many of the documents, which were made public only online, are duplicates of files that had been released years earlier. Other documents are totally illegible or refer to CIA and FBI code names and pseudonyms that even experienced researchers will take months to decipher. Several documents are written in foreign languages. Still, the newly released documents may offer an intriguing glimpse of what comes next. The National Archives is required to unseal a final batch of about 3,100 never-before-seen JFK assassination files by the October deadline, assuming the move is not blocked by President Donald Trump. Under the 1992 Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act, the president is the only person empowered to stop the release. Congressional and other governmental officials have told us in confidence at least two federal agencies, likely the CIA and FBI, are expected to appeal to Trump to block the unsealing of at least some of those documents. Even after 54 years, some government officials apparently still want to keep secrets about this seminal event in U.S. history. The CIA and FBI acknowledged earlier this year they will be conducting a final review of the documents, but have been unwilling to say if they will ask the president to block some of them from being released. None of the files released last week undermines the Warren Commission's finding that Oswald killed Kennedy with shots fired from his perch on the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository in Dallas's Dealey Plaza. A conclusion supported by the 21st century forensic analysis, and that there was no credible evidence of a second gunman. But new documents do revive the question of why the CIA so skeptically internally of many of the Commission's other findings by the 1970s never acknowledged those suspicions to later government investigators or to the public. Documents released decades ago show the CIA and FBI officials repeatedly misled and often lied outright to Chief Justice Warren and his commission, probably to hide evidence of the agency's bungling in their surveillance of Oswald before the presidential murder. The CIA appears to have been determined to block the commission from stumbling onto evidence that might reveal the agency's assassination plots against Castro and other foreign leaders. In 2013, CIA's in-house historian concluded the spy agency had conducted a benign cover-up during the Warren Commission's investigation in 1963 and 1964, in hopes of keeping the commission focused on what the agency believed was the best truth, that Lee Harvey Oswald, for as yet undetermined motives, had acted alone in killing John Kennedy. But what if the best truth was wrong? According to the documents made public last week, The CIA was alarmed by the mid-70s to realize that no one had properly followed up on clues about especially mysterious chapters in Oswald's life. A 6-day, apparently self-financed trip to Mexico City, beginning in late September 1963, 2 months before the assassination. The reason for that trip has never been determined with certainty, although he told his wife, Marina, that he went there to obtain a visa that would allow him to defect to Cuba, much as he once attempted to defect to the Soviet Union. The CIA acknowledged long ago the agency's Mexico City station had Oswald under surveillance during that trip, and that he met there with Cuban and Soviet diplomats and spies. The CIA station chief later said he was convinced that Oswald had a brief sexual relationship with a Mexican woman who worked in the Cuban consulate. Although there is no credible evidence of a Soviet involvement in the assassination, Oswald's other contact in Mexico included, shockingly enough, a KGB assassinations expert who doubled as an accredited Soviet diplomat. A top-secret June 1964 FBI report made public in the 1990s, but apparently never seen by key investigators for the Warren Commission, suggests that Oswald was overheard threatening to kill Kennedy during his visits to the Cuban diplomatic compound in Mexico. The files released last week also show that the CIA and other agencies failed to pursue clues that Oswald, who publicly championed Castro's revolution, even while serving in the Marine Corps, had been in contact with Cuban diplomats years before the Mexico trip, possibly as early as 1959, when he was deployed to a military base in Southern California. The information initially came to the FBI and the Warren Commission from a fellow Marine who recalled how Oswald boasted about his contacts with Cuban diplomats in Los Angeles, where Castro's government then had an office. The account from the fellow Marines was of a more possible operational significance than was realized in the months after the assassination, but was never run down or developed by the investigation. According to a 1975 CIA internal memo released last week, the record of the beginning of Oswald's relationship with the Cubans starts with a question mark. That 27-page memo, which does not identify its author, is among the most intriguing of all the documents in last week's batch, unsealed by the National Archives. Copies of the document were found inside larger CIA files released last week, including thick agency files labeled Helms Hearing Duplicate. That seems to suggest the memo was given to former Director of Central Intelligence Richard Helms, who led the agency from 1966 to 1973. When he was later summoned to testify secretly to Congress about his involvement in the CIA assassination plots against Castro and other foreign leaders. Similar documents about the Kennedy assassination and Oswald were written in the 1970s by a senior CIA counterintelligence official, Raymond Roca, who served in the agency's chief liaison to the Warren Commission. Labeled secret and stamped reproduction prohibited on each page, the 1975 memo lists several important clues about Oswald that went unexplored in the years after Kennedy's death. Versions of the same CIA memo were part of the flood of millions of pages of documents received and released after the 1992 law, although it was never attracted detailed attention outside a small circle of assassination researchers. Brian Littell, a respected former CIA analyst on Cuban intelligence, cited a version of the document in his 2012 book, Castro's Secrets, which suggested much closer links between Oswald and Cuba than had been previously known. The 1975 document noted the failure of the CIA, FBI, and Warren Commission to interview a key witness in Mexico City, Sylvia Giron, the Mexican woman who worked in the Cuban consulate and was reported to have had an affair with Oswald. She is the sole live witness on the recording regarding Oswald activities, yet her testimony was taken and presented solely by the Mexican government. That according to the CIA memo. Giron, who is still alive, has repeatedly insisted she had no sexual relationship with Oswald, though she readily acknowledges she helped him with his unsuccessful visa application for Cuba. It was that same time, that same CIA memo that offered a detailed theory of the chain of events that led Oswald to kill Kennedy. How Oswald, who lived in his hometown of New Orleans for much of 1963, may have been inspired to assassinate the president if, as seemed probable, he read an article on Monday, September 9th in the local newspaper that suggested Castro was a target for murder by the United States. The article, written by a reporter for the Associated Press in Havana, then published prominently in the Times-Picayune, was an account of an AP interview with Castro 2 days earlier, in which the Cuban strongman angrily warned the Kennedy administration that he was aware of the U.S. assassination plot aimed at Cuban leaders, presumably including him, and was prepared to retaliate. The article quoted Castro as saying U.S. leaders would be in danger if they helped in any attempt to do away with the leaders of Cuba. The CIA memo suggests that if Oswald, who had known to be an avid reader of the Times-Picayune, saw the article, it might have put the idea in his head to kill Kennedy as retaliation for the threat the United States posed to Castro, an idea that would have been in his mind as he left for his trip to Mexico that month. The possibility that Oswald read the article must be considered of great significance in the light of the pathological evolution of Oswald's passive-aggressive makeup and his identification with Fidel Castro and the Cuban Revolution, according to the CIA memo. We'll finish the article next. This is the Wells Report.
We all know life can get crazy and you're not always near a radio, but one thing is for sure, your phone goes everywhere with you. And now we can too. Download the 660 AM The Answer app to your phone and listen live wherever you go. If you miss any of the Mark Davis Show or the Wells Report, you can catch up whenever, wherever. Plus, dial the 660 AM The Answer studio directly from the app. And it's free. We make it easy to stay connected. Download our app now. 660 AM The Answer.
Hi, this is Kevin Christ with the KPC Financial Show.
And I'm Karen Christ, his better half.
You said it, honey.
And we are the founders of KPC Financial Solutions. We want to invite you to listen every Sunday at 5 p.m. to our KPC Financial Show, where we will share with you the 7 strategies for successful retirement and how to tailor-make your retirement blueprint.
So join us right here every Sunday at 5 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. or visit ReputationDefender.com.
At Simple Sleep Services, we believe the best way to treat the serious medical condition of sleep apnea is the easy way. Our team of doctors are experts in providing the least invasive treatment for snoring and sleep apnea, a custom-fit, comfortable solution that you simply pop in before bed each night and wake up feeling refreshed. And it's covered by medical insurance. You don't have to endure the cumbersome CPAP mask or go through the pain and downtime of surgery or implants. We are the most experienced team in the nation providing our treatment. Your diagnosis will be from a board-certified sleep physician using today's latest technology. Let us start you down the path of a restful night's sleep. Visit simplesleepservices.com or call 469-685-1700. Treat your sleep apnea and snoring the simple way. No CPAP, no surgery, no implants, just simple sleep. Go to simplesleepservices.com or call 469-685-1700. Don't spend another night on the couch or sleeping alone. simplesleepservices.com.
People always call us when they want a guaranteed income that can last as long as they do.
Jerry Bailey and Dottie Schaefer of the Retirement Hour.
When it's time for your last day at the office, enjoy some peace of mind, knowing you won't be blindsided in retirement.
We can help you create a guaranteed return on your money that keeps your money safe, growing, and compounding over time. We'll show you how. Call us for your free and no obligation retirement review in our Dallas or Fort Worth office, or just call for a second opinion on your retirement plan. 800-550-6750. Protect and grow with us. Local relationship, local accountability.
Leave your checkbook at home. The sooner you call, the safer your options.
Don't run out of money before you run out of time. Call Jerry and Dottie for your free no-obligation consultation. 800-550-6750. 800-550-6750. Learn more at theretirementhour.com. 800-550-6750.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543. An absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
In Politico, Philip Shannon and Larry Sabato writing the first article after the data dump revolving around thousands of Kennedy assassination documents. The article finishes up with this. Immediately after the assassination, the CIA's Mexico City station warned CIA headquarters that the AP article might contain a vital clue about Oswald's motives for killing Kennedy, and even about possible Cuban involvement. But according to the 1975 analysis, there's no evidence in the files of the Kennedy assassination that the Castro interview was considered in following up leads or in dealing with the Warren Commission. Although Mexico Station specifically directed headquarters, the AP story was out there and should be reviewed. Previously released internal documents from the Warren Commission show that one of the commission's most aggressive staff lawyers believed that Castro's remarks to the AP and possibly that Oswald read the article might be of great significance in explaining his motives. But the internal files show that more senior staff members decided against any reference to the AP article, and the commission's final report, for the fear of feeding conspiracy theories about a possible Cuban link to Kennedy's death, does not reflect well on either the legacy of the CIA or the commission. That half a century after those gunshots rang out in Dealey Plaza, the newly released documents suggest at least some of those conspiracy theories might be true. The executive producer of the Wells Report is Vicki Steifer. Technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra is Magic Matt Swinney. My name is John David Wells. God bless you and yours. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday for another edition of the Wells Report.
Hi, I'm Rick Foster with Guardian Financial Management and the host of Plain Talk No Worries Financial Hour. Heard right here on 660 AM at 4 o'clock every Saturday. Do you know why the stock market did so well in the 80s and 90s and why there have been two major crashes in the last 16 years? You need to know the reasons why so you can make the right decisions for your family. Listen to Plain Talk No Worries here every Saturday at 4 o'clock and we will pull back the curtains and show you the truth. That's 4 o'clock on Saturday right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Varicose and spider veins. What a gift from my mom. She had them and I got them. Not only are they uncomfortable and sometimes painful, but I stopped wearing shorts and skirts because I was embarrassed and hated the way my legs looked. So I went to Vein Clinics of America. The procedure took about an hour and I was right back to work. What they're doing these days with lasers and minimally invasive technologies is unbelievable. The staff made me feel so comfortable and the results, well, even my husband noticed. Vein Clinics of America has been treating vein disease for over 35 years. They're the largest and most experienced in the U.S. Look, I've been doing the commercials for Vein Clinics for years because I believe in them, and you can trust them too. The best part was my insurance covered the procedure. So stop hiding your legs this summer. There's no reason to suffer any longer. Call Vein Clinics of America now for your free fast track consultation. Call 800-780-1975. 800-780-1975. That's 800-780-1975.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard. After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know